Hey, it's Mickey. Hey, I wanted to come on right quick because I was in one of my Facebook groups for parents, actually for Black mothers. And somebody raised a question about their child being diagnosed with ADHD. They were having an issue with it because they said, oh, well, if my child is diagnosed with ADHD, I don't want them to be diagnosed with that. I don't want my child to be labeled. I don't want people to think that they're dumb or they can't do anything. Stop it. If your child has been tested, diagnosed, and shows examples or shows, because you need to watch a child and see their actions, and you observe different things that equate to ADHD, and if you're not sure, I need you to pick up a book and read it to find out what can be said, because contrary to what people think, ADHD is not just, oh, they're so hyper. I put a book up here a little while ago. I posted maybe about a week or so ago that I'm reading about my daughter, who is a tween now and is understanding girls with ADHD, and it goes from when the child is born all the way up. I'm up to high school now, and there are so many things that we have this perception what ADHD is, that it's something that, oh, they're bad or they're always hyper, when in fact girls show different. They may have different things going on with them versus boys, and it's much harder to diagnose a female little girl versus now, and research shows it's harder to diagnose a girl with ADHD than a boy with ADHD, because we're so used to seeing, ADHD mean, oh, they're hyper, they're bouncing off the wall. Now my little girl, I ain't gonna lie, she was bouncing off the walls, but there are other symptoms that we don't know about. And a lot of times, and I don't know about you, where y'all raised, but growing up in the Black community, I don't know who all had ADHD because it was swept under the rug a lot of times. Like I told people before, I didn't know that I was diagnosed with ADD until a year before my mom passed away, because my daughter, who was 4 at the time, and yes, you can be diagnosed with ADHD as young as 4. Read up on it if you think I'm lying. And she told me, and I remember specifically what she said, there's nothing wrong with Sid, which I didn't say anything was wrong with Sid. She has a condition that she just needs help with. There's nothing wrong with Sid. You were diagnosed with ADD when you were younger. And I told the doctor, my child, she doesn't have that problem. First of all, it's not a problem. There's nothing wrong with your child. There's something just going on. And you need to be out. You need to be helping your child by giving, especially if it's a female, the resources that are needed for kids. Stop sitting here thinking, if my child got an IEP, oh man, well, something's wrong with my child. I don't want anybody to think my child is dumb. Your child is not dumb, okay? But what you need to do is give your child the resources they need to succeed. Had I known then what I know now, reading up on ADHD and the fact that there are other things that come along with ADHD, a lot of times it's not just ADHD alone. Ask me how I know, because I deal with it with my child. But doing research and reading, looking back on some things, I was like, wow, I really wish my mom would have gotten me the help that I needed, but my whole thing wasn't hyper. I wasn't hyper. And we always think, oh, they gotta be hyper. No, doing my research, girls are able to mask a lot of stuff. Those girls that you're like, oh, they're smart, they're good, she doesn't cause any problems, whatever. That's because they're able to mask things like that. Again, I'm doing research and I'm like, holy shit, excuse my language. And I was like, holy crap, for real? That's why I do things a certain way. That's why certain things have been so hard for me. So again, if you are seeing symptoms of ADHD, again, if you don't know what the symptoms are, especially if you have a little girl, go do your research. I posted a book, Understanding Girls with ADHD. I'm telling you, it has been an amazing read, and I picked it up because now that my daughter is is older than a tween, I noticed, there's some changes that are going on with her, and I'm sitting here like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna be straight with y'all. Y'all thinking Mickey is in no way, shape, or form a perfect mom, because Lord knows, me and her. Anyway, that's beside the point, because y'all know I love my baby. But if a doctor diagnoses your child with ADHD and you don't believe them, read, research, see if you're seeing things, the symptoms. And it's not just about hyperactivity. It can be the quiet girl. It can be the smart girl who's making good grades. It can be, there are so many things. Hey sis, hey Ashley, I see you. And you a nurse, so you're a pediatric nurse, right? So I'm pretty sure that you know what I'm talking about. First, ADHD usually comes along with other diagnoses, be it ODD, be it anxiety, be it depression. I was fortunate to observe things, and people think I'm lying. When my child was 3 or 4 years old, and she was around other kids her age, and it seemed like she was the outlier, meaning other things that they were doing, she was doing something totally different, but it was a pattern. And I noticed it, and I was like, okay, let me see what's going on. Let me tell y'all, your children are entitled to resources in public education. Mine will be going back to public school. Yes, she's going back to public school in the fall. She asked mommy and daddy if she can go to public school here. She wants to go to a school of the arts, so we're praying that she can hopefully get in one. But you best believe we're going to be calling back to where we moved from, because I'm going to need that IEP package to get down here. Because I'm telling you, y'all, get the accommodations that your children need. Stop sweeping it under the rug like ADHD and other neurodivergent type diagnoses is a bad thing. It's not. Their brains are just working totally different. And yes, it can be frustrating sometimes with all we've been through, but still, allow your child to get the accommodations they need. Stop thinking IEP and 504 are bad words. Stop thinking, oh well, I don't want my child to be labeled. Label my child, because I want to make sure that she succeeds, and she's given every tool that she deserves to succeed. So that if she doesn't succeed, she can't say, well, it's your fault. No, it's your fault, because you were given all the tools that, that were supposed to be given to you, and you decided to not put forth the effort. So again, stop, especially in the Black community. Let's stop being ashamed of saying, our kids are diagnosed with stuff and they don't really have it. They're just bad, or they're just hyper, and we're going to beat it out of them, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Man, get off. It's 2022. Like, I know I can be hard on my baby sometimes, but there's some things that we got to change. This ain't 1986. That, these kids do have a lot of things going on. And I'm thankful that I was able to observe it. I was able to do my research. I was able to see what was going on with mine at a very young age. So if a doctor tells you, look, this is what I think, do your research. If you don't trust that doctor, get a second opinion. But do not sit there and keep your child from having the accommodations that they deserve in the public school system because you're embarrassed because of the letters IEP. No, we got to stop doing that. We got to help our kids. We got to help our little brown boys and little brown girls. Come on. I'm not down with this, pipeline to prison mentality that we got going on in school systems, because I'll be dang and sitting brown. If she gonna have to go to prison, that's because she did something that she wasn't supposed to do. It won't because she wasn't given the opportunities, the resources, the tools that are needed. So I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I just want to share that because it struck a nerve when the mother said, I don't want to put my child on IEP. I don't want to go ahead and say, yeah, they're diagnosed with ADHD or whatever, or ODD, because they're going to be labeled as stupid. I don't know, put a label. Man, get off that. It's 2022. Y'all better let y'all kids have the resources they deserve, all right? All right, I'm out of here. My little one should be coming in from her little tumbling and trampoline practice now. But you all have a good one. And like I said, take care of your kids. Do your research. Join these groups on Facebook. There's tons of groups for parents of children with ADHD and ODD and anxiety and depression. Y'all, if y'all would do a search, you would be amazed at how many resources out there. People that are just like you, parents that are just like you, that are going through the same thing you're going through, where it's a safe space where y'all can come and y'all can talk and y'all can vent and let me tell you what my child did today. You know, some things I can't post on my Facebook page or what Cindy be doing. I just go into those groups and I vent about that. But I love my baby though. Again, you all have a great day, and again, get your child taken care of. Allow them to get those accommodations. Bye, world.